Greetings, this is Peasant's Voice with artist activist Justin John Sheck. Episode 3 will cover March 14th through the 28th. It's a bi-weekly show. No sponsors. I don't do sponsors. That's disgusting. I'm not interested in selling soap, shoes, like Kanye. No wonder he became a Nazi. He's just a moron. Who says I'm famous now? I want to be a billionaire. I need a CEO. What kind of artist pours themselves out and just sells products? He's like a can of Coke now. I'm Ritz Crackers. I'll just keep changing my name. I'm Ritz Crackers now. I mean, it's just disgustingly sad. Our artists today are just—they're not artists. They're products. They're completely mass-produced. I'm sorry, I'm going off on this bullshit. But the point is, I can't remember my point. I just hate Kanye. I hate the fact that this is the problem. See, I'm bipolar. And it's dismissed that he became a Nazi because he's bipolar. I'm a lot of things, but I'm the opposite of a Nazi. I'm an egalitarian. I believe we're stronger together, and if we stick together, we can thrive together. That's what I think. I think we can't stick together and thrive together because of the divisiveness of the ruling class. 80-year plan, 60 years mainly. The Heritage Foundation came out with their first publication, gave it to Reagan, and he executed it. One of the things they needed to do was, through the FCC, eliminate the fairness in media doctrine, that which guaranteed rules and regular journalistic rules to media. That was undone. And Congress panicked because Congress knew, even the Republicans in Congress said, this is crazy. He's going to make state-run television like North Korea. And so they codified it. They passed the law, fairness in media doctrine. He vetoed it, of course. And then all of a sudden, the media was saying, stop criticizing trickle-down economics as buffoonery. If you're a tribe of 10, and one guy says, give everything to me and I'll dish it back out later, I'll keep most of it, but a little bit will dish out. All that we hunt, all that we gather, just give it to me. And I'm going to keep it. You would exile that person. We keep electing people to say this. Give everything to 0.1% of the population, to the corporate, immortal, all-powerful people. And this brings me to the topic of today, rights. The rights of a person. There are American citizens, no doubt, at the very least, legal immigrants who we know committed no crime in the United States and no crime in Ecuador, where the gangs spawned from, are in El Salvadorian prison because they're not a person. They are a person, but the 14th Amendment doesn't matter. 14th Amendment is just ignored by this dictator. This is how fascism works, right? First they demonize a group. Reason your life sucks. Reason your taxes are so high. Because there's all these immigrants, illegal immigrants coming in, these bad hombres from insane asylums and criminals. And you've seen gangs in New York. This is the same. The Irish, the dirty Irish are coming. Oh my God. This is just the fascist. This is just the playbook, right? There's always been. It's what you do to demonize a small group, blame all the problems on them, and then you can do anything you want to them. Now, so what are we doing? It's spreading, right? Now it's free speech. You're an immigrant, you don't get free speech. You're not a person. Okay. Tesla's a person. That corporation's a person. But that corporation has more rights than you, right? If you're a dissenting voice, God forbid you're not a citizen, you're first. But guess what comes next? American citizens that are communists, terrorists, leftists, terrorists, enemies of the state. This is not a theory of mine. Fascism is not hard to predict. It's a one-trick pony. It operates the same way. Because the problem is your policies suck. You've sold out to the oligarchy. The oligarchy literally empowers a fascist. Once they see that the people are trying to democratize the economy, the people are trying to get a slice of the pie, they panic. They want their privilege. They want their profits. It's never enough for them. They're greedy psychopaths. These aren't people. These are psychopaths. The difference. I mean, a psychopath's a person technically, but you know what I mean? They have no empathy. They have no feet. They're not like us. They don't see a person struggling, the old woman across the street struggling, and say, I want to help her get a little something to live on. And I want to make sure the kid across the street goes to school and grows up an intelligent person or educated person who can work and support themselves. And then do it again for the next child across the street. Maybe I don't have kids, but that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pay my property taxes so the schools are healthy. Health of the zip code. So, so what do you have? You have to demonize other groups eventually because the oligarchy wants more, and your policies aren't solving any problems. So now you need to the group has to widen to spread. So now it's not just immigrants. Now it went from bad hombres to the criminals, and now it's the immigrants caught up in the mix with green cards, and especially they protest the genocide that America's participating in. You can't draw attention to the fact that we're committing genocide, Palestinian people. You can't draw attention to that. You have to be destroyed to make, this is the deterrent, just to make sure that it doesn't happen again. You go after the colleges, you go after the education department. You undo the education department so that your states can teach propaganda. All 50 states get I've always decided what to teach. It's just federal government doesn't tell them. They decide testing, I think, but and it's not very good. It's not a good system. That's because there's no funding for it. You eliminated art and music and all the speech classes, all the things that to create thinkers, right? They kept all the indoctrination stuff. I'm not saying education is indoctrination. In fact, if you look the two words up, they're the exact opposite. Indoctrination is generally one source that's lying, and education is many sources that are being honest and telling you their different perspectives, explaining their different perspectives in detail. That's what education is and indoctrination is. So Fox News is indoctrination. Charlie Kirk is indoctrination. Tucker Carlson is indoctrination. And these men were given power to run willy-nilly. Okay, this is what happened. After Reagan undid the Fairness in Media Doctrine, Rush Limbaugh was born, Sean Hannity, and then Fox News was born. And now Fox News is the most watched television news station. It's not a news station, propaganda network. It's a state-run television, but only for the Republican state. Only when the Republicans can do no wrong, the Democrats can do no right. Just as you see MSNBC tried to do, CNN tries to do, the formula doesn't work. Now the written word's still pretty good. You can get to the truth through reading world papers, academic journals, and then the newspapers. You can get to the truth. Like you can know that the lawyer for one of the gang members now in El Salvador in hell, in El Salvador in prison where he'll never see a ray of light. That's what the president said when he created this prison. Never see a ray of sunlight again. because he had a crown tattoo, because he was a Real Madrid fan. That's the soccer team. In America, we call it soccer. This is buffoonery. You send in this, you don't care. You don't care if you're right or wrong. You just need numbers. ICE needed numbers. Trump demands that you declare these I'm going to declare the gang members terrorists. Now find me some gang members. So then they go out and find gang members. Never mind that they're not gang members and that they have no criminal record in America, or who's a gang member who doesn't have a criminal record in America or in their Ecuador or home of origin? How are you a gang member and you never get arrested? Okay, you're not a gang member. It's obvious. But who cares? Because we're doing a good, we're solving the problem. Your tax dollars will no longer pay for these sons of bitches. Never mind, one was a carpenter. Oscar was a carpenter. Paid taxes. Paid into the quality of our schools and our Social Security. He'll never receive it because he's an immigrant, and he'll never become a citizen because it's impossible to become a citizen in this country unless you got $5 million in a gold card now. But you understand what I'm saying. It's asinine to remove taxpayers if your problem is that your taxes are too high. White people, the good white people's taxes are too high. And the black people and the Latinos that are citizens, like the Puerto Ricans who, at least in Humboldt Park, Chicago, hate Mexicans more than the right because they're always taking their jobs. You know, there's just a deep-seated hatred. There's an easy target. Target the easy, weak, defenseless person, and then make sure they have no rights of a person. The 14th Amendment guarantees the rights of the person shall not be infringed. The rights to due process shall be guaranteed to the person, not the citizen, the person. Now, the reason it's the person is because it was designed for freed slaves who weren't technically citizens, but the federal government wanted to make sure the Constitution was accurate and gave them rights to due process, the rights to a trial. So a lot of them were free now, but not citizens technically. So this is an extension of that law. Now, like I said, Oscar isn't a person. He's in a prison now. He has no rights, no human rights. Coca-Cola, Tesla, they're people. So this is how backwards it is in the United States of amnesia. This is what the 60-year plan of the Heritage Foundation has been. You're not an oil billionaire who thinks up a think tank and is trying to help the people. Okay, you're poisoning, you're destroying civilization for profits, and you knew it in the 60s that oil was killing, was destroying. We have dead zones in the ocean where just nothing will grow, and there's no doesn't matter. It does matter. It's all that matters, but that's not the point of the day. The point of the day is rights. So the rights of the person. Now this is the next extension. What comes next? Because your problems aren't solved by removing the immigrants that you can remove. So now you go after free speech. What are you doing? You're finding immigrants who protested a genocide. So who comes next? The leftists and the communists who protest Trump. They're enemies of the state next. The disabled are gobbling up tax dollars and not working, contribute nothing to society. Donald Trump said to his cousin or brother or cousin, his cousin, who had a disabled child, why don't you just let him die? Just let him die. That's Donald Trump. Donald Trump thinks people like me should just die. That's fair. I think Donald Trump should just die. So what the fuck? But not murder. I don't support assassination. But keep eating those cheeseburgers, dude. So this is what I'm saying. The rights of the person have been removed. The 14th Amendment no longer applies. This is how fascism takes hold. It takes away, it chips away at the rights. You can't just grab all the rights till you have at least 30%, 40% of the population on your side. And then you got to chip away at them. So free speech is under attack. Not just the rights of the person no longer count, but free speech, the First Amendment, no longer counts. See how it escalates? And like I said, this is not me with a theory that I have that I'm sharing. I'm describing what fascism has done throughout human history. Fascism's a one-trick pony. It does this, it takes the steps every time. It's a plan of action that's executed by those who study fascism. So all you have to do is study fascism, and you're going to know what's coming next. Like Trump just said, I'm running a third time. I'm not joking. On the weekend of the 21st or the 20 whatever, and I've been saying this all along. Those who were paying attention to him know that he was serious all along. He's not leaving office. If he tried to steal the first election through an insurrection and fake electorates, never mind the insurrection. People just can't agree. It's a protest. Cares that all these cops were beat up and died, bloodied and spitting up blood, and fighting to save democracy. And then you succeed. You get into you get all the congressmen to safety. Then you let them in to appease them. So now it looks like it's a tourist attraction. You just let them in. That's how unfair is that? You can't throw them in jail. I'll just pardon all of them, including the ones who were armed to the teeth, had them in vans waiting for Trump to declare the Insurrection Act so they could go get them and just murder everyone. And they were saying this. They admitted it. They were on the radio coordinating, so they were saying things like, "Hey, cave means grave. Cave means grave, man. All those congressmen in a cave now, just sitting ducks." They were saying this stuff. And it was played in court, and they were convicted of seditious conspiracy. And Trump just pardoned them. So now he's got his brown shirts. These guys will fuck you up if you go out and protest against their man. They're going to be Heil Hitler in him soon, trust me. And they'll all be saying, it's not Heil Hitler, it's the new wave I do. It's always meant, it's always been a sign of respect. Who cares that the Nazis did it last and then tried to erase the Jews from the earth? The Nazis did some good things too. You know how many moderates I heard say that before the last election? I liked some of the things Trump did. Oh, God. You were too busy. I get it. You're at work all the time. You're exhausted, and you got 30 minutes a day to watch the television. So you don't absorb news. You're absorbing propaganda. That Reagan ensured that. There's no journalistic rules. You watch one show, all the hosts are Democrats. You watch another show on Fox, the most watched. It's not news. They were sued for $1 billion and admitted in court, no, we're not news. Of course not. Don't throw us in jail. We're just TV personalities. Come on, it's all a joke. And then they just didn't report it on their show. They had to. Most people that watch Fox News do not know that they were sued for $1 billion over the election denialism. Nobody knows that Sean Hannity had to read his own text out loud in court, saying he never believed for a second that the election was stolen. This is just disgusting. So now there's tons of innocent men, American citizens, no doubt, in an El Salvadorian prison with no human rights, no right to due process. And they were told to bring them back. They were told by the judge. Now, it doesn't matter because the judges can say Trump's doing illegal things all they want. He's going after the courts on purpose. He wants to have a fight with them so that he can dismantle them. Get rid of all the Obama judges. That's how this man thinks. He thinks everyone's as evil as he is. So if you're an Obama judge, of course you're biased. I only produce biased judges, so of course that's what Obama did. Now, Obama probably did. Obama wasn't sincere. Unfortunately, see, this is the thing. I'm not a Democrat. I've never been a Democrat. I voted once, the first time, for Obama, and I would have voted for Bernie, but you stole him from me twice. Bloody Monday. How did he steal him the second time? Biden won fair and square. No, he didn't. All the moderates dropped out on Bloody Monday. And then on Super Tuesday, Biden swept because he had won North Carolina. Now, never mind that he was finishing last in the first two primaries that Bernie won. And never mind that he couldn't finish a fucking sentence. I wonder if he'll finish the race and serve two terms and not hand us the worst candidate possible in Kamala Harris, the moderate. You know what a moderate is? Someone with no ideas because they want the status quo to continue. They want money to funnel up to 0.1% of the population who gets them elected through their campaign finances. And then they want to use identity politics and culture wars to control the minds of the working class. The Democratic Party is not innocent here. They're just as undemocratic. They couldn't handle it emotionally that Bernie was actually winning twice. So they handed us Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden, which eventually led to Kamala Harris. Stupidest fucking plan ever heard. And they all had their asses handed to them, except for Biden the one time when he had people that were naive enough to think that he would actually do something about police brutality. Naive enough to think that he would actually be, he tried. I'll give it to Biden. He saw the moment. He tried to reach it. And President Joe Manchin stepped in. The coward who didn't run again after that because he knew he would lose because he ruined everything. Biden was promising some good progressive thought. Yeah, I'm a progressive, not a Democrat. So I believe in AOC, Bernie Sanders. You can call them socialist if you want. Socialism doesn't mean anything. It's the stupidest word used nowadays in America because it's been so demonized. Socialist means lazy and everyone's poor to most people because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. That's just reality. So I don't use the word. I'm a progressive. I'm a New Deal Democrat. I want more programs like Social Security. I want more programs like job guarantees and the right to a living wage. The economic Bill of Rights that FDR laid out. The 10 new Bill of Rights. Right to a fair and living wage, a right to leisure time. All the things that have been taken from us since FDR was elected 4 times in a row. Because you had social movements cause all change. Change comes from the bottom up, and then you need a sympathetic figure in power to go along, appease you. That's how it works. There are no leader heroes that do it on their own. The people do it. Their prayers are answered because they act, they protest, and they press their demands. So what's Trump going to do? He's going to make sure that can't happen. First, it's the immigrants. Then it's the free speech immigrants. You just chip away till you get to the communists and the leftists, all dissenting voice, and be crushed. Send in the military against them. They're enemies of the state. They're terrorists. We're going to send them to Guantanamo, torture them. Just because we can, because it'll deter other people from standing up. It won't be long before Antifa is a terrorist organization, right? Even though Antifa doesn't have any leadership and they aren't an organization, you just call anyone you want Antifa that you don't like, which is real convenient for him. Of course he's going to do it. This stuff isn't hard to predict or decipher if you know history, but we don't know history in this country anymore. We have no history. We have no soul. We just have two sides arguing over culture issues, like who should use whose bathroom. It's embarrassingly stupid. embarrassingly stupid. And yet here we are. This has been a Peasant's Force.